So we will begin with sutra chanting of Sambujo, followed by the chanting of Sambutsuge.
Kugo gai tai mu myo
ぬ世尊読む人の死死人徳無力君古代知恵人妙公明意祖真の大戦願が差仏在所可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任精進良善三昧知恵以上五世特仏不行志願二切空空一切大安慶始有仏百千六万無量大小修行五弱用一切死と小仏不尿愚道現象不逆非尿五弱小仏世界不不加減無種節度光明師匠変死小国尿税精進異人難量量が差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国尿内音二無とそがと愛民道達一切自法内所心熱症状意図学校経絡安穏好物神妙是が心象発願能意力少々欲実法生存知恵無下上量子孫知が信行軽量心死食毒中画行精進忍辱敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ願にしくどく平等聖祭道も大心往生 Naman, that was 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 Naman. I'll now read the Shotsuki names for the month of June. When you hear your loved one's name, you may come up and offer incense. Suzy Hatano Okamoto. Albert Sasamoto. Roy Yoshio Sumida. Kazue Shintani and Hatsumi Shintani. Now, if you could please rise, if you're able to, for the recitation of the three treasures, and remain standing for our first gatha on Dokusan 1. Or I guess our only gatha. Three treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 You may be seated. Okay. Now I'll give the Dharma talk. It's warming up now, and it's starting to feel a little bit more like summer rather than spring. It's getting hot. And yesterday was another hot one. I think it's supposed to be hotter today, maybe. It was like a 91 and 94 today. But it was nice and sunny, so it's fun to get out. And my daughter, near the end of the day, wanted to go out, and she wanted to play with chalk. So she wanted to, draw on the cement. And so we'll go in front of the house, and she draws like, I don't know, it's essentially a lot of lines and stuff. But she enjoys it, and she was having a good time just like stacking the chalk next to each other and making like a rainbow or something. But it was before it got dark, so it was still sunny, and even though it was late in the day, it was still pretty warm. And so I wanted to try to keep her, out of the sun too much. Didn't want to get sunburned because then, that's no fun. But it was a time when the shadows were starting to get long, and there really wasn't too much shade in the front of our house. But I was able to stand and kind of block the sun, from her. So in that way, she was able to stay a little bit cold, even if, like kind of my back, probably the back of my neck is real dark right now. But I was able to stand there so that she was able to be a little bit cooler. Like in the shade, it was nice, it was a little bit of a breathe. So she was able to enjoy the playing with the chalk without getting too hot. Of course, she goes inside, she takes a long drink of water, but I think she was able to enjoy a little bit more. And while I was doing this kind of thought appeared into my head where in the Japanese American community, we have a saying that has been very meaningful for us for a long time, and it's this idea of okage samade. So this okage is actually the literal meaning of like shade or shadow. And it's the translation would be like, because of the shade of others, essentially. And this meaning is that we're able to exist because of the contributions of other people. So many people before us have worked so hard, have sacrificed so much. And unfortunately, one of my responsibilities as a minister is to perform funerals. Obviously, I'm not, unfortunately, in the sense that I'm very honored to be able to participate in these kind of things, to be able to be there for the families. But it's unfortunate in the sense that we have these losses of very incredible people who have impacted the community, and on a very personal level, their family, their children, their grandchildren, and even their great-grandchildren. So to see these people pass away, it's very sad, very heartbreaking to hear the remembrances, but it's also very nice to understand how much they have done for these people in the life that they had, and now remembering them, after they passed away. So we're seeing many of the Nisei generation pass away. I recently did a service in Placer for, I think, perhaps the oldest sansei. So he was 91, but he was a sansei. So his parents came over, his grandparents came over in like 1880 or something like that. So it was like a very early Issei. So then, of course, they had early Nisei and then early Sansei. So I think it's starting to get to that point. It's very sad that we're starting to lose basically all of the Nisei and starting to lose the Sansei now. But it's important for us to remember the contributions that they did, all of that they suffered for. Like they had it very difficult, of course, with the war, going back even before that, and the Issei trying to find a better life for themselves because the opportunities were so limited in Japan. So trying to find a better life for themselves and their family, and then the Nisei suffering through, growing up World War II, and then after that trying to pick up everything and again start over, and then suffering so that they could give a better life for the Sansei. And not that the Sansei had it easy, but easier than the previous generations, and so they were able to build on that foundation that was set out for them. And it's all part of this idea of, okage samade, that because of the people before us, we have to work hard. Because of the people before us, we're able to enjoy our life. So we have to continue to not just enjoy, but work hard so that sacrifice isn't in vain. But this feeling that I had when I was standing, blocking the sun for my daughter, kind of literally becoming the shade, was that eventually all of us also have to become part of that okage, that we have to become part of that shade, that we have to look forward and realize that we have to sacrifice, that we have to work hard, that we have to do something for this next generation. And it's not easy. A lot of times it's sacrifice, it's staying up late or putting in extra hours or doing something for our kids' school or something. It's something where it's not something fun. It's not something that we enjoy. And yes, it is meaningful and it is important and it's something that we, without a second thought, would be doing. But it's something that is hard. It's something that is not easy. And that is the, I think, important aspect of Okage-sama that all of us need to look within ourselves and recognize that because we are the beneficiary of so much sacrifice, that at a certain point in our life, we have to sacrifice as well. And this happens to all of us in different points of our life. And sometimes it starts very, very young. You know, I hear stories about people who have had a parent pass away very young, and being, the oldest child, they have to take over the duties. They're looking out for their children, and oftentimes people look out for other families if they are struggling, whether they're related to them or neighbors or something, trying to sacrifice something of their own free time or something that way they would have rather been doing something for themselves and doing this for other people. And I think that the people who are exemplifying this idea of self-sacrifice, of giving for other people so that other people may be living a better life, they are the ones who truly understand what it is to have someone else sacrifice for them, and so they are more willing to do it. And within our tradition of Jodo Shinshu, it's this understanding of how we are all the recipient of so much kindness, and then in turn trying to give back. So within the Japanese-American context, within this Japanese culture, this feeling, this saying that we have of Okage-sama de, recognizing that all of us eventually must also become part of this great shadow, this shade that allows others to rest, that allows others to be happy. And when we recognize that we're a part of it, it becomes this overwhelmingly, wonderful feeling of, while we're doing something that might be difficult, we enjoy, we appreciate, we're happy about doing it because we see how much we can give a better life for other people. And it's only doing Nembutsu, only understanding ourselves in relation to the world around us, that we can come to that kind of realization. But in doing so, it fundamentally changes each and one of our lives. So we have that kind of positive attitude about doing so much for people in front of us, for the future ahead of us, knowing that we will never get any kind of benefit from it. If you please join me in Gasho. I'll now read the letter on white ashes. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus, we have not heard of human life lasting for 1,000 years. Life passes swiftly, and few among men can maintain their form for even 100 years. Whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or tomorrow, who is to know? Those who depart before us are as countless as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may return to white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. Though loved ones may gather and lament, everything is to no avail. The body is then sent into an open field, and it vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. Nothing is more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old. Therefore we must, one and all, turn to the teachings of the Buddha Dharma and awaken to the essence of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we come to appreciate the meaning of this life, which is to be treasured because it is unrepeatable. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unaccepted value in this existence, and let us live together with gratitude in our hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. That will conclude our Shotsuki service for the month of June. Thank you again, everyone, for attending, and please drive safely home.